Well, I just got home from work a little while ago. I was doing a bathroom demolition, removing the floor and the lath and plaster walls and getting ready for the plumbers to come and move everything. Then I got home and I thought I want to do a video. I want to make a YouTube video. And often I do them after work when I feel motivated and inspired, and I'm not quite in my evening lethargy, but I'm also not in my morning stupor, right? Maybe it's an evening stupor as well sometimes. As you all know, many of the videos I've uploaded in the past I have just never made public because my eyelids were a little too heavy, let's say. But on that note, when I go to make a video, I thought, what topic should I talk about? And I sat down and I was going to talk about something about people. I don't even remember now because I use what comes to mind, off the top of my head. And right now, I was sitting here thinking, man, I'm just an average dude. And I said, that's it. That's the topic of the video. When people talk about not having, they say they want to make a YouTube video. They're like, but I don't even know what to discuss. I don't even know what to talk about. It's like, just talk about that. Talk about not knowing what to talk about. There's something very cathartic about expressing yourself online to other people for those who are bottled up, have a lot to say and a lot to discuss. And because of that, I figured this video would be a good way to explain how I feel about myself to those who maybe watch my channel and wonder, am I really arrogant or am I really humble? How do I really feel about myself in just that realm of, humility versus ego? Because I do talk about ego, and I've said plenty of times in the past that ego is a very important part of who we are because it is fucking who we are. Come on, let's be reasonable. Your ego is different. Freud tried to, I believe he coined the term ego, superego, and the id. The id is like the primal ego. But there, I don't think really, if it helps to label these things, then that's fine. But I've found that labels really fall short. Any words, if you use symbols, it's a lot easier to understand. Like the earth, the tree, right? The branches and the roots, the sky, the planet. It's all the same, one and the same, that this yin and yang of everything, right? And I'm not going to get off into that tangent, but I think just understanding that basic concept helps us a lot. That everything has polarity, everything has an opposite, that those opposites aren't necessarily negative. At least in what I've been taught in my, by the ether, by God, in my experiences that I've had through life, I've learned that just like I've said, it's not about what practice you do, but your intention behind it, something that's completely forgotten. But I thought that I maybe had a little more wisdom than others in the past. And this comes down to being an average guy. When I was in school, okay, I wasn't dumb. I didn't get I got bad grades in high school because I didn't do my homework. But I remember my teachers saying, you pass your tests, you ace your tests. Why don't you do your homework? Because it counts against you. And I said, because I go home and I hop on my skate and I go skateboarding. That's just what I do. I don't want to do fucking homework. That sounds miserable. You're lucky I show up, bastards. Which I did. And not only went to high school, but when I got kicked out of my high school for taking a bong to school, I had to leave my sophomore year and go to another school. They actually got me set up and paid for it because they wanted me out that bad. But this school was out in Northeast Portland, and I lived like out in Lake Oswego. So I had to catch a bus, 78 to Portland, and then 12 to Gleason, or 9 to, I don't remember. No, it was 9 to Gleason, I think. And that trip took me like close to an hour, on the bus, waiting for the bus and all that, just to get to school. And, with a whole bunch of like gangster type dudes and chicks who were like all dressed up as wannabe gangsters. Back then it was all starter jackets, right? And my brother and I stood out We were the hippies. We wore tie-dyes and had long hair. We all got along amazingly well. It's just funny how people try to divide people along, cultural lines or how you're brought up, Yeah, you got the gangsters and the hippies. We get along just fine, all right? So I went to this school and I did really well because there was no homework. Got like a 3.6 or something. And then went to another school, MLC, which was another alternative school the next year, which was desirable. You had to write a letter to get in. They let me in. I went in my senior year there. Didn't graduate because I didn't have enough credits. I was like maybe 5 credits shy or 3 credits or something. I decided in my all-knowing intelligence to say, I don't care about high school. I'm just going to go off and do my own thing, which I did. Worked at a gas station for a while. Then worked at a place with conveyor belts where we dealt with like expired food from the stores that they returned and stuff. Then started roofing with a friend. In other words, ended up doing shit that, if I had gone to school and finished, maybe I could have gone to college. Guess what? I didn't have money, right? But it didn't matter to me. After school, I went and I continued to write and study and read. I would continue handwriting to try to keep it nice and legible. There wasn't a lot of computer literacy back then. It was like the early 90s. But I tried to, do the best I could for myself and thought that I was a pretty smart guy. From the people I'd met in my life, I thought, I know quite a bit, Like, wow, there's a lot of dumb people out here. But I never held it against society. I never used that as like some, ego boost or, to divide me and other people. But I thought that I was pretty smart. My 30s come around, I realize I'm maybe suffering from Dunning-Kruger. My 40s come around, oh shit, well, maybe I don't know as much as I thought. The internet is plentiful. I can go out and find plenty of really smart people that blow my ideas out of the water, right? Then you get to almost being 50 years old, as I am today. And I've realized that I'm just an average dude. I mean, I've always known I'm an average dude. But, I get up in the morning, I went to work, I did construction, I came home, I have 2 kids and a dog and a wife and a house and a mortgage, all the normal shit, almost the white picket fence thing, but I don't like those. But as I've mentioned before, we're planning to sell our house and move and buy land with the farmhouse and kind of live the dream we want to live. And that's just another average dude move, right? I don't want to be some great architect of life or builder of society or an owner of a, huge company where I feel obligated to perform because I know better. I know I only have so much time to dedicate. Like to me, just having the time to be here with my family is precious. Even if we're all in different rooms, even if we're on our devices, whatever just being close to people matters. And so many people in the pursuit of just being great abandon their families. The people who have a dozen kids and don't take care of them. Plenty of those people out there. But, to each his own, right? Except I just don't see that as conducive to a good future for the kids or the people. But I say that because I think raising good, intelligent, insightful, and deep thinking kids requires having a present parent who does the same. So my kids are all pretty smart kids as far as I'm concerned, right? I'm biased. I'm the parent. My 12-year-old, he can see through my bullshit. My 15-year-old, of course. I have a 30-year-old who, he's continuously surprises me. Like my family keeps me in check. My wife especially. Like if I say something that just is bullshit or unfounded, she'll call me out on it. And damn it if I don't feel frustrated that, she's right, damn it. Not always, mind you. But the women are smarter is that old saying in a Grateful Dead song, which I continuously agree with. The women, they may not always speak up on issues, but when they do, the the women in my life have always been pretty close to being on the nose, and at the very least, my mom was like that. A lot of the things she said at the time didn't resonate, but I understand now. And I really wish we could have had discussions now, and with both of my parents to be able to say, this is what I've discovered, this is what life's about. And hey, guess what? I'm just a dude, just an average dude. And I share my average dudeness here on YouTube because I like to hear what other people have to say. Some of the commenters leave amazing, long thought, heartfelt comments. Then I have some comments where it's just short but sweet. They're all phenomenal. The fact that a person took the time to click and type on their phone, keyboard, whatever, to leave a comment on my video. So do it. I appreciate you all. I'll try to comment on every video. I'll try to respond to every comment on this video. In fact, I haven't done a Q&A in a long time. Maybe I'll do one of those soon, where I would just say, if you have any questions about anything. But it's funny because I realize now, after saying that, why I don't do that anymore. I realized it's because I thought I knew more than I did, or that I really had something that people needed to ask about, right? That is another kind of, it feels a bit egotistical. But at the same time, people ask me a lot of questions, things that maybe they'd asked in the past I never answered. But I always try to respond because we have a nice little tight community here. I appreciate you all. And I know a lot of you are average dudes and dudettes, and you're just living your life too. So, let's just be average people together and be cool with that. This doesn't mean that, we can't exceed the expectations in certain aspects of it, certain realms. For example, I may not, know all about economics. I may not know everything about religion or politics, but I understand some basic concepts. They say there are, 9 forms of intelligence, give or take, depending on your viewpoint. But things like spatial intelligence, being around things in rooms, mathematical intelligence. I guess there's probably linguistic intelligence. You have social intelligence, emotional intelligence, and then just general knowledge. And all of these things, we can have a little bit of everything, but you can't have it all. And I try to hone my skills on the ones that I think matter. And they may not be the same as others think matter, but I'm looking at the long game, the long-term benefit of the behaviors that I have in my daily life. So instead of trying to act like I know more, just being humble, being cool, calm, and collected, not getting upset about things, just letting life be. That can be harder than we, would like to think. But when we do so, we live a more peaceful life. So with that out of the way, I want to say thank you all. I could go on, but I won't, because it's just about the length of time it should be. I just want to say it's okay to just be yourself. It's okay to be average, and it's better. I wouldn't want to be exceptional. I feel like people would expect things of you, have expectations of you. It's like the tortured genius who is really good at math but can't talk to people. A lot of stereotypes there. I'm sure there are some guys out there who can do it all, but haven't met any yet. So it's okay. Just be okay with being okay. I'll see y'all next time. Be sure to check out my podcast. If you're new to the channel, I have a podcast called 15 Minute Free Thinking. If you'd like to contribute, you can go to my Patreon, patreon.com/Carpo719. And I'll see you all next time. Be well.